Hi there, I'm Questy. Welcome back to Shadows Awakening. Where we left off, I had just found myself a little breakable wall, and in breaking it, I expected to find maybe a little chest or something to loot, and instead I found Imperial Tomb 3, and then a bunch of other stuff to explore over here. The other thing that I had going on was that I had actually said I would finally attach some essences to my gear, but I also said that I wouldn't do it on screen because the entire last episode was just me fucking around in the menus and working on my characters, which is fine, but not everyone likes that. So out of my, 2 or 3 viewers, I don't want to offend them. And what I did is I did a little bit of off-screen essences. Now, looking at it, obviously I had a little bit of money going on here, and some of these blue items and stuff, it's very cheap to socket essences, but you don't really get a lot of return out of it because the items aren't that great. What I focused on was socketing on my weapons, which I feel is a big point of return here. And as you can see, I've taken the yellow grade weapons, and by socketing that final socket, I've upgraded most of my armaments here to legendaries. Now, the one that I didn't do is obviously my ranger or my zombie, because I think the ranger, he does have a yellow grade weapon, but he's not in the group right now, and the zombie doesn't have any weapon of that caliber. So what I've done here is I've spent the higher amounts to socket into these weapons. This one here, you can see I added 5% lifesteal to his weapons, making them legendary. This one, I added a 5% slow chance, because obviously she's built around kiting. She's very high movement speed, and a chance to slow enemies. That does work for me. Now, obviously, I would have used more of those 10% skill damage buffs on a couple of these guys, but I didn't have any. That's still locked, so I can't get those. For this guy here, I actually didn't socket. The reason there is this staff is getting to be kind of low level. Although, to be fair, if you look at that cost, you know what? Let's do it right now. Let's actually socket this up right now. So let's go main hand. We're going to add an essence. And let's see, what should we take? We could put lifesteal on it for him. We could put slay chance on there. But what would make more sense? Other than that, it's all just base damage. I guess I'm gonna go with another one of these. All right, so let's socket that up. Okay, we brought this up to legendary as well. And he now has that sort of, if he rolls a 20, he can slow the enemy. All right. So we've done that. And then Czar over here, he also has a legendary main hand weapon now. And that is the plus 7% attack speed, which is ideal for him for his dual wielding. Now, we could technically bring this one up to being a yellow weapon. It is level 7, so it's 3 levels behind. My take on that is that we don't have another attack speed buff. All we could really do with this is add a small incremental amount of damage or a little bit of lifesteal. I would rather save my essences until we get, like, this might get demoted to his offhand when we find a new yellow for his main hand. Something like that. So I'm going to hang on to it. So there we go. That's what I've done with the inventory in the meantime. And now I think we're going to go ahead and face off against this Imperial Tomb here. Now, our previous encounter, like, obviously this is Imperial Tomb 3. That implies that I've missed one somewhere in the game. Probably there's one per zone, and I must have missed the secret that would have opened up the one in the wasteland. So that is something that I might go back and explore, but I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, we're going to go straight to Imperial Tomb 3 if that's an option.
This inscription again.
There we go. So let's step on in and see what's waiting for us. As you'll remember, the one that we found before was not undefended.
We have made it this far at least.
All right. Okay, we have the opportunity here to trade out our characters again if we go to the Shadow Realm here. But we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to see what happens. Oh, hello. Okay, let's own that. Okay, these guys have pierce resistance. Oh, look at you. Little leap attack there. Actually, let's go up here and just do some damage to these guys straight up. There it is.
A guard lich. A certain sign of something worth guarding.
I would agree. Okay, let's throw a freeze down. Okay, we can actually hit this guy, which is nice. All right, I want to switch this out here. He's immune to Hex. Okay. But he's not immune to that. All right, let's quickly get out of there because that guy was causing me some serious problems. Okay, he's immune to my nonsense there. But let's take advantage of having this damage dealer that I have over here. Okay, well actually check that. I don't really have a ton of damage dealing, it seems. Let's try this out. There we go. No problems. All right. Easy peasy. We are starting to get pretty powerful now in terms of the number of abilities we have. And obviously that's what, oh, that's a new type of cloak. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Even with me being relatively slow and clunky with my character switching, we're already starting to see that they're quite powerful, even if I do keep missing possible combos that I could be using. One thing I will say though is mana could become an issue. That was going down pretty fast during that fight. These abilities are starting to really suck the mana. All right, let's take a look.
No Imperial staff, just an engraved rod. But there's a chronicle at least. The chronicle and final testament of General Varula of Garulia. I wish it known that it is my honor to have served the God Empress in this task, to have brought the engraved rod to its hiding place deep within the jagged peaks. This scrying watchtower is, I hope, unknown to our enemies. Its outer door is sealed shut. A demon guardian should have been summoned to protect the inner chamber, and the door to that is sealed with the Imperial Scion enchantment. Whomever reads this is therefore, we trust, a descendant of the Garulian Imperial family, and therefore capable of returning Garulia to her glory. I have chosen to end my life here, that I may continue guarding the rod in the next world, and that my spirit may bless the hand that might resurrect the glory of the Empire. We have taken every conceivable step to protect this rod from discovery. Guard it with your life. Once you wield the Imperial staff, you must take it to the secret tomb hidden in Fallen Eagle Pass. Without the staff, the door is impossible to find, much less enter. There you will find the fabled timeless paragon that once stood proud atop the imperial scepter of the god emperors of Garulia. If you make it that far, you shall know what to do next. May the god empress guide you. Signed Varula Quintella Vipsania, General of Garulia. My mother once told me the timeless paragon could command time, but to my knowledge, she did not know how to use it. Why was this rod worth dying for? And what is its connection with the paragon?
Okie dokie. That's interesting, I guess. So presumably this is her private, you know, her main character quest line. And it's sort of interesting. I'm trying to piece out exactly what was going on. So presumably the Garulian Empire was in a serious decline when this guy would have probably fled from like forces that were potentially threatening it, you know, the Visigoths sacking it kind of thing. And then come out here to hide this item with the idea that descendants would come and the empire would rise again once its enemies had sort of died off and, you know, gone extinct or something like that. Could be the case. I suppose we'll find out. Now, we did get a new book here, so this is the chronicle that she just read in full to us, so obviously I'm not going to bother doing that. And in terms of the journal, let's see, side quests, Timeless Paragon, okay. Once we have the Imperial Staff. Now, she basically said, okay, still no staff. And now that doesn't necessarily mean that Imperial Tomb 2 doesn't have the staff. That just means that we don't have it yet. So it's hard to say. That could be in the one that we missed. Or the one, at least, that I'm assuming we missed, since this is Tomb 3. Okay, that went pretty smoothly, though. Nice, easy tomb there. So let's press on with some more exploration. Yeah, well, the backtracking gets us where we need to be, so maybe stop being so snooty. Oh, I should also perhaps check. Is there anything else that we've picked up there? Okay, so we're showing usables. Balanced Warhammer, you say? That potentially would be an upgrade. Yeah, we would... Weapon... So our attack speed would be down, basically. It's indicating that it would get slower, but it would do slightly more damage. Yeah. Does have that plus 10% skill damage as well, which is kind of nice. I'm gonna give us higher attack speed. We're just gonna leave that where it is. I think the one thing that we did get that was interesting is this. So I'd be tempted, actually. What's he got? Okay, +3 willpower. Let's give him this dark cloak. Because I mean, he basically only fights demons. The others occasionally fight demons. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. Take a gander around here. Scorch. Okay, yeah, most of these things are resistant to poison, which is kind of something I'm discovering. So let's maybe switch out and just hit them with an axe. Most things aren't that resistant to just being slapped around with an axe. Okay, as soon as my freeze cools down, you guys aren't going to be so cocky. There we go. Okay, we got possibly another little, heavy iron fists. Okay, so I'm thinking that that's probably, yeah, let's take advantage of that, I guess. That blunt damage isn't fucking around. There we go. Nothing. Wow. Disapprove. Okay, here we go. Another little essence drop here. Essence of Blight. Let's grab that. What does that actually do? Let's take a look. Essence of Blight. This is the just poison damage. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's not particularly exciting. Yeah, switch back to our speedy Evia here, and oh, dead rogue. Dead rogue with nothing. Okay, so this is to Broken Spear Pass. Now, is Broken Spear Pass the one we were in, or is this the next area down the road? Because there was a couple places that I was interested in checking out. Yeah,
It seems I have found a Griffin Eyrie.
Alright. Good job. Okay, so we are going to want to backtrack, but we'll do it once we get to the next cenotaph, because I do think there were some areas that we still hadn't thoroughly explored back there. That said, let's poke around a little bit. Okay, we got some griffins on the go here. So let's potentially... I was going to freeze them down, but it turns out that that little pause there was me hitting my AoE attack that I would be using if this was Grim Dawn, which I've been playing a ton of lately.
Tremble before a princess of the Cerulean throne.
Oh, these guys don't like fire all that much. They don't like poison all that much either. That's very interesting. They are not very resistant to my nonsense. Hey, do you guys want to play with my little friend here? Oh. Oh, come on. Really? I missed? Right now, I have to say that, well, the main attack of my new wizard is quite good. I'm sort of finding that maybe I'm better off having my ranger. Just ability-wise, he just seems a lot more useful. Just more of a good utility character. Let's just clear out this little corner. I'm sure it doesn't go anywhere because basically most of these maps are just straight trails, essentially. There could be something down here. We'll switch across. Yes, there we go. That lifesteal is worth. Elegant sash, you say? This guy is immune to slay, of course all the big enemies are. You can see we actually are starting to run into some energy problems now that we've been leveling things so much.
This one is still intact.
Okay, I think we're gonna have a boss going on in the real world if we want to switch back across. Oh, hey, those are tracking projectiles are still doing their shit. That was interesting. Okay, let's go and... Oh, okay. I was fully prepared to have to deal with something, but nothing is around. Alright, well, I'll take it. Okay, now I assume we're after this.
There is one egg I can take.
Never mind. Perfect timing, asshole.
If the mother will let me.
Ooh, boy. Okay. Let's start with this. Okay, he's immune to Hex. I mean, that's obviously not ideal. Alright, we're just gonna quick... Yeah, see, she's much better at just kiting. We do have the cooldown is available there. She's probably gonna be immune to freeze as well. No, she is not. Okay, let's actually get in here. Do some melee damage while she's downed. Time for Berserk. Oh, look at this. Okay, actually, she's doing considerable damage. That was crazy. I think I got a little carried away there with the fact that he was doing a lot of work on her. There we go.
I wish it to come to this.
Oh, she's a naturalist. Well, would you look what we just picked up? We just picked up the Storm Amulet, which is legendary and is exactly made for casters. Silence immunity and mana regen. So she gets it. And then we can go over here to this guy. He's got the freeze immunity on this. We could do this and immediately bump him up to having that additional casting speed, which is good. I mean, the casting speed is really for kiting, right? Like, you just don't want to be standing in spot doing your animation to cast for a long period of time. You want to move out. All right, so this guy, he took a bit of a beating there. He's low health, but he's going to be healing in the background. We just have to remember not to switch directly to him, and we could serve the soul stones. I will say that I'm probably going to switch this guy out right about now, and then we'll take a quick look at the essence for my other guy. Now, the Griffin egg. What did I need that for? Probably the lost cargo, right? Griffin egg. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that. We don't have that, but that's in the Termarian place. And we have to recover the silk bolts from their hiding place. Now, that one I do not know, but I do know where we're going for this one, so that's not problematic. So these ones should be okay to do. We've actually ticked one off the list. That's good. All right. Let's run back, and I want to hit this up real quick here. I'm actually surprised there's no fast travel here. It's a little bit annoying, but that's okay. Let's hit the sanctuary. This guy here looks cool and all that sort of thing, but I think this guy is actually better in that slot. It's been a real arc for me with Urshak here. I did not like him originally, but he feels a lot better to play now. Our little Hexer here, I don't know. The combat just kind of feels a little bit like it's always kind of disjointed, and because the battlefield is so small, getting concentrated opponents close to each other or kind of controlling it feels less of a thing than a lot of ARPGs. So I think what I'll do is I'll stick with this grouping that I have here because it just feels quite powerful. And if I look into this guy here, let's take a look at his main hand weapon. Everybody else got an essence on their weapon and got it legendary. So let's do the same thing for him. Let's add an essence to his bow. Now, I would love an attack speed essence, but we just don't necessarily have that. I think probably the next best thing, his crit rate is up like something around 15%. So he's much more likely to crit. We could add more critical damage to him, and I think that's probably the right way to go because he's going to crit more than everyone else, and the more we stack his crit damage, the more devastating that's going to be. I mean, the only other one that would make sense would be this, but given the fact that he's ranged, we're trying to stay away from everyone anyway. So let's socket this. It's not very expensive. And now there we go. Legendary weapons on everyone in this group right now. And that's a pretty good upgrade. All right, so let's switch back to our speedy little explorer here, and we're going to have to run back through these caves on account of the lack of a fast travel area. And all the way back down here to Broken Spear Pass. So I'm going to do that. You guys just hang tight. Okay, so here we are poking around, and I've come out to check this again to Broken Spear Pass, this area here. Once again, we can't proceed forward there, so I don't know exactly why not. I'm going to have to poke around a little bit more and try to see what's going on because I think this is the way forward. So there's obviously something I've been missing. I'm going to have a little bit of a poke around and see what that might be. Okay, we're all the way back outside, and this looks like another way that we haven't explored yet. So we're going to go and check that out. This is where we left that bitchy little heiress. And now this obviously is something that I want to check out, but I don't know how to get there. I was sort of assuming that this is probably that back door that we can't get, that is not interactable inside. And I'm not sure whether I'm just missing like a little, secret lever or something like that, but I'm not going to look it up. We'll just see what happens. We might have some way to access that at a later point. So I'm going to press ahead here and continue to explore this area a little bit. We'll see what's across this surprisingly intact bridge. Oh, there you go. Okay, the Temurian border camp. You know what I'm going to do just to lead things off? I'm going to become a Temurian.
Guard, fetch your captain. Tell her that I, Tsar the Berserker, have returned to Temuria.
Tsar has returned. Open the gate. Open the gate.
Why is he wearing a muzzle? You like the
captain
loot?
Is expecting you, Tsar. You will need her permission to go any further. An honor to have you in our border camp, O Slayer of the Furless.
I never thought I would return to my own land. But at last, my exile is over.
That guy's voice makes more sense than this guy's voice to a degree. Although this has gotten slightly better, it seems. Like maybe they figured out that they were playing like a dog guy, like a furry or whatever. Anyway, though, I want to finish my joke, but they cut me off, man. This guy has a muzzle on him. Like, what is he, the Luis Suarez of, furries? Anyway, whatever. Joke's lost now. It's no point. Stupid game.
The wilds of Temuria have long been a dangerous place for any traveler. But since the accession wars, the situation has worsened. Whereas before Temurians were proud of these vales and glades, Now a terrible curse lies upon these ancient forests. Of this calamity, I can claim no responsibility. The Conclave brought this doom upon its own land, an act of desperation at the close of the last war. My sole expedition across the Temurian wilds was challenging, even for a superior mage such as myself. But even I would not wish to traverse this forsaken greenwood now. The final curse of the Conclave has warped the indigenous animals and elementals in ways I do not yet understand. And werewolf anarchists, seeking the fall of the Conclave, conspire in forgotten strongholds to return Temuria to its untamed past. With Zar as their guide, my allies might just be able to reach the city of Duratir.
Okay, pretty cool. That last chapter was a short one. Well, maybe not too bad. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. We are at 26 minutes. I think I'm going to take this opportunity to make this a slightly shorter episode. And when we come back, it's time to embrace our furry side as we probably hang out using Zara as our main character for a while. You can see here, we can't show our face with these other two. So we're going to get to know our high-pitched wolf boy a little bit better. But that's going to be next time. I hope you enjoyed this little run through, and I hope I see you again. Bye now.